If you're a painting company owner or a painting company marketing manager, sales manager, or someone that is paying attention to your systems and processes in business, you need to watch this video to understand how you should be selecting the tools and the softwares that you're going to use to run your business. This is an overview of how I like to think about the process of selecting softwares. And these are kind of my high-level priorities that I run through when I'm guiding a company in making a decision of which software they should use. So let's dive into this topic of how should you select the right software for your painting company. Hi, my name is Chris Kiefer, and I am the founder of Boolean Automation, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. The purpose of this video series is to help you identify the best software and the best overall tech stack for your painting company. Now, in this video, I want to just explain a little bit of the overview of how I think and the way that Boolean approaches software and integrating software together. So first, let me cover a couple of things. Elon Musk is someone that I think has done some amazing things, and his process for process improvement, I think, is very applicable when it comes to software. He talks about deciding or starting with, there's a 5-part process. The first part is starting with first principles. So it's breaking things down and making sure that what are we throw out everything that is currently happening and start with what is the goal here? What are we trying to accomplish? And make sure that the requirements are less dumb, as he says. Make them very specific and clear, and that we can all agree that that's the reason that we're here. The second thing is he recommends that you delete as much of the process as you can. Delete all the mundane steps that don't have to be there. In fact, he says that you should be deleting so much that at least 10% of the time you're adding things back in. So if you're not ever adding things back into your process, you're probably not deleting enough. The next thing that he talks about is simplifying. So once you've identified the first principles and the foundation of what we're here to solve, you've deleted as much as you can, then you simplify the process and make it really simple. The fourth step is speeding up or accelerating the process. So we want to push a system to go faster and faster and faster, which allows us to put more data through or more projects through in your painting business. And then lastly, you then automate. And the reason why this is so critical is because what the biggest problem that a smart person in a business can do is automating or optimizing something that shouldn't exist in the first place. So because we're here to automate things, I think that it's really important to understand that there's 4 other steps that should come before you actually begin automating, because a lot of times when we're working with clients, we find that they end up automating or spending a lot of time and energy, or ultimately spending money automating something that doesn't even need to be there. If you would have started with first principles, then broken down and deleted everything that didn't need to or absolutely have to exist to get you to that end goal, then simplify, accelerate, and then finally automate. So that's how I like to think about, from a super high level, what it is that we're doing here. The next thing is that there's 3 critical factors that affect the software decision-making in a business. The first one that I think is the services that you offer. So clearly, if you offer a single, exterior painting, we just do exterior repaints and that's it, you're probably going to need a lot of different technology than a company that uses or provides 5 to 7 different services, because there's more variability in what your tools and your estimating software and your CRM and your project management needs to be able to handle. The other part of that is that you might have a painting company that offers 3 or 4 services, but they're so closely related to each other that there's not as much variability or variance between both how those service types are sold, how they're estimated, how you market them, and how you ultimately produce them, or maybe even how you invoice them. So the variance in the marketing, the sales, the operations, and the finance of each of your service types that you offer is also a factor. And I just want to interrupt this video really quick to say, if you are a painting company that is in the process of selecting which tools are right for your business, that is why Boolean exists. That is what we are here for. We exist to free you up to do what you love. And we do that through picking the best software and implementing that software in your business so that you can do, like, quite honestly, most of the clients that we work with, over 80% of the data management and the processes that they are doing in their back office do not need to exist. With modern tools, modern software, and the advent of AI, there is so much wasted energy in the back office of painting companies, and that's what we want to help with. So if you'd like to chat, have a free discovery session, don't hesitate to reach out. You can find the links to schedule a discovery call down below. It's free, and our only goal in that call is to help get you pointed in the right direction. If we can't help you, we'll provide you with some resources, some other content, and ways that you can help yourself if we're not a good fit. So let us know if we can help, and we'll continue on with the video. The next component of this is growth rate of the business. So generally, I recommend to standard like a 10 to 20% growth rate company, you should be looking to get the softwares implemented for the business that you will be 3 to 4 years from now. I think this is really critical because sometimes people, I think when they're having the conversation around software, they think that there is a perfect tech stack that exists for the $500,000 startup and the 15 or $20 million painting company. And that's just a silly thing to think about or even be looking for, because the right tools are going to vary based on your team size. And like I said in this bullet point, how fast you're actually growing. So if you're growing at 10 to 20%, finding the software that this company of yours 3 to 4 years in the future is going to need is going to be a different. I mean, my recommendation, if you're growing at 50%, or maybe you're doubling your size of your business year over year, you might want to preemptively solve for software and tech problems before you actually need to, because oftentimes what happens in those situations is that you're in a, we're too early, we're too early, we're too early. Oh my gosh, we should have done this 6 months ago. So because when you're growing faster, that introduces a whole bunch of different problems in your business. Generally, fast growing companies like to get ahead of problems that they can and solve them preemptively. Whereas again, slower 10 to 20%, like healthy growth companies, they should stick to that. Try to find the softwares that's 3 to 4 years out. Don't worry about what your company is going to need 10 years from now, because you're probably overpaying for something that you're really not going to get value out of until that point. The other major thing that really affects software decision making is the ultimate target size of your business. Clearly, a business that is, the goal is to be a $1 million owner operator, no overhead, they're going to need much different software than a company that's 10, 15, 20 million and has a whole management team, marketing director, sales director, office managers. Those types of roles are going to demand more complex and more advanced tools. Smaller companies need simpler. Simplicity is absolutely critical when you're a small company, because you don't have the time to learn how to use the complex tools, nor are those problems going to yield the same type of ROI that, a 2% shift in marketing spend when you're $1 million company is not even close to a 2% shift in marketing spend when you're a $10 million company. So those are some big things to consider there. The next thing I always like to say in any introduction when we're talking about software is that there is no magic bullet software out there. There is not one system that's going to solve all the problems of a $500,000 company and all the problems of a $10 million company. So it's important to keep in mind that the all-in-ones that exist are fantastic solutions for smaller companies, but that doesn't mean that they are the best choice for any size business. Likewise, the really complex or specific marketing tool is probably not the right decision to use when you're starting up, because when you're starting your business, you need to be focusing on the people and the processes. And that's the last point that I want to make, is that when we are talking about software, the one thing that I emphasize more than anything is that software does not scale your painting company. People and processes scale businesses. That's end of story. If you take the best software in the world and you apply it to a business that has really poor processes or really poor people, you are not going to have that business succeed. And if in the same way, you could take really terrible software, but have the best people and processes, and that business might struggle and it might be harder to grow, but they will grow and they will be successful because of their people and their processes. The way I like to think about it is that the right software for your business is kind of like reducing the friction. If you've ever done a Peloton workout or a bike workout, think of having the right software is like doing a certain number of miles on the bike at 10 or 20 resistance, whereas the wrong software is doing that same mileage at 80 or 90 resistance. So software, when applied correctly, just reduces the friction and makes it easier for your team to do more volume, more distance, more jobs, more projects with less effort than the wrong software or a lack of software in your business. Thanks so much for watching. I love feedback. So if you have any other questions or ideas of things that you would like to see, please don't hesitate to send them over to us, and we will see you in the next video.